Have you ever wondered why the sun is such a problem to some white Americans? This takes us back to what is called melanin. Melanin, as we all know, is a pigment that protects our skin from ultraviolet radiation. And most very light-skinned people have very little melanin in their skin, and as such they are very sensitive to the ultraviolet rays and makes it very difficult for them to carry out their activities under the sun without being protected. Let's watch these clips and see how some of these white Americans face difficulties because of the sun rays.
I posted a video saying the sun, the giver of all life on planet Earth, is good for us. I got a remarkable influx of stupid white people who have terrible diets being like, well, I burn in the sun. Well, I'm redhead. So your skin is adapted for all day sunlight in whatever region your ancestors lived. If they lived in extremely northern parts of Europe, obviously, if you, for whatever fucking reason, implanted yourself in South Africa to exploit diamond mines, or to Australia because the British Empire wanted to get rid of you, clearly, you need to take precautions because the environment does not change and govern itself based on your presence there, much like how a household where you do not live requires different customs. However, this science is important for Black and Indigenous people who have dark skin who literally need like 8 to 12 hours of sunlight a day at the highest levels of UV to be healthy and well, who have been told their entire lives that if they're out in the sun for more than 30 minutes, they could get skin cancer. That is literally detrimental to their health. There are no other populations more represented for cardiac illnesses that could be substantially reduced by more sun exposure.
We need to start being genuinely honest and unapologetically truthful about the white population. Making us feel like we're the majority anymore is no longer viable. We are now only 8% of the world's population, and 100 years ago we were 30 to 35% of the world's population. So only 100 years ago, nearly a third of the world's population was white, and fair enough, we were the majority, and we were made to feel like the majority, and that has positive emotions and bad emotions. Okay, we should potentially, as being such great builders of the world, we should help other races and religions and beliefs, etc., etc. However, in 2025, we are the 8%. Why are we still being made to feel sorry about everybody else? Everyone else is growing. Everyone else is having kids. Everyone else seems to have opportunity. But the white population, the birth rates are on its arse. And if they get much worse, in another 100 years, we will be eradicated from this earth. I and all of my ancestors for the whole of time refuse to, just be eradicated as such an important race. We have built so much of the world. We have given opportunity to so many other races across the world. And if you're still sat there in your bedroom with your green hair feeling sorry for the Windrush generation and for things that happened in the past, well, that is on you. We shouldn't feel bad in modern day history, because look around, everybody's got the same equal opportunity. Everybody has, well, actually, the argument would state that there's more opportunity for other races, especially with jobs in the UK being plastered out there where white British people couldn't apply. Look around, we've all got the same life now. We've all got the same, from birth till death, we've got the same opportunity. Yet the white population still feel terrible. They still feel bad. They feel guilty for being the dominant race. Well, we're not the dominant race. Stop feeling guilty about it. We are being eradicated from Earth, whether it's on purpose or whether it's our fault because we're not having kids. I don't know. Well, I might do, but I don't know it enough to say it online. So yeah, here I am, just being unapologetically truthful. The white race is being targeted, the white race is dying out, and the white race needs to defend themselves. Not violently, but stick together, have kids, grow, give ourselves opportunity, do what the rest of the world is doing. Having multiple kids and growing as a force, as a race, it's important, and it doesn't mean anything bad against other races. It just means that we all need to grow together so that we don't eradicate one of the races. Do you know what I mean?
I'll give you a second. Okay, now that they're gone. Okay, so I just need to know how you reject white guys, because I feel so bad when I do it. The other day, this white guy Snapchatted me, and he was like, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? And I was like, yeah, sure. Can you send me a picture of you? Because I didn't know who he was. And he sent me a picture, and he's white as can be, and I'm like, I can't. I just can't. It's not my fault, okay? So I just didn't answer him, and now he's Snapchatting me 20 times, and I just don't know how to tell him that I will never date him because he's white, and I can't date white guys anymore because I'm so stuck on black guys.
Guys, I want to do a series about things that I learned about myself through TikTok as a white woman. On TikTok, I learned by the black community that we are allergic to the sun, and in fact, that the sun kills us. I mean, as you can imagine, it was pretty alarming news to find out that I was allergic to the sun and that it indeed would kill me, because I've like spent my entire life, my entire childhood in the sun, and any day that I have off, I'm in the sun because I hate being in the house. So yeah, I guess today after work, I'm gonna go and stock up on sunscreen because, you know, I gotta be around to take care of my kids. But yeah, y'all stay safe out there. The sun is killing us apparently.
Guys, I did a video on how Europeans came to America and stole all of black culture, and y'all are getting pissed saying that Europeans do have culture because I said white people have no culture. You do have culture, but not in America. You have it in Europe. Your culture resides in Europe. This video is about y'all coming to America and stealing black culture. And Native Americans stole black culture too. They stole the land from black people too, so I don't want to hear that bullshit anymore. I get on my TikTok and I post truth about whatever false history or programming has been done. So just shut up. Shut up.
You see, the sun in Africa is better than the sun in America. The sun in Africa is better than the sun in America. Just look at how scorching. This is the place they constructed that English scorching. The sun without air. You know, when the sun is wiring you with no air. In Africa, at least sun will wire you. At least you will receive some fresh air. But here, the sun is dry. Just look at me. Look at my face. 2 seconds, Yari must if I want to die. Huh? Yari must if I want to die. What kind of sun is this? As if they cold, now so the thing still they hot. Huh? Who do us like this? Who do me like this? I was not informed. Huh? You can know one. I saw some West Ghana who too much. This sun could have dealt with me. That's why you have in a very wrong way. Oh, you have to go when if code is gonna, man, damn. You can't go out. Nothing before my proc because when you're with fuel close to me now, I don't catch fire because I'm a moving matches. When you're with anything fuel where I am now, I have catch fire. Yeah. Now because comes to now, comes around now. Here, you know, bus stop call okay. Up a bus stop. Comes return here before man. We're going to hit a bagam. Yeah, wait 2 minutes. You know, every 2 minutes, something around. Just look at.
You are designed by Mother Nature to be in the sun, contrary to what the dermatologists and ophthalmologists tell you. And the proof is right there. Don't you think it's kind of funny that balanced AM light through this pituitary gland makes this chemical here called beta endorphin? Anybody know what that is? That is an opiate. Do you know what Mother Nature's telling us on this slide? That we are designed to be addicted to the sun. So you know that we just had a recent famous guy, Soundgarden guy, who I used to listen to when I was Chris Cornwell. He died. And what did he die? What did Kurt Cobain die of? Drug addiction. What about Michael Jackson? Drug addiction. What do you know about musicians? They're always around non-native EMF, and they're always doing concerts when? At night. Under what kind of light? Why do they have to use drugs? Because their body can't make beta endorphin. So guess what? Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, should I go on?
Please, anybody who's watching this now in the UK and it is between 8 and 9, please go and look at the sun now and then come back. Go and look at the sun now and then come back and listen to me. I have just had to pull over the car. You need to go and look at the sun because we can all see the sun. It's the same sun. If you live near me and we have the sun still, because there is only one sun, so technically we should all see the same sun, except it's not daytime for some people. But if it is daytime for you right now, if it's between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, look out your window now at the sun. Look at the sun. It's humongous. It looks like a satsuma. It's like a fireball. It is the lowest and biggest ball of orange fire I've ever seen. It's like a blood orange. Go and look now. Go and look now and then come back and tell me. This is a zero, the editing is shit on this, but did you see it? Did you see it? Tell me, did you see it? I now need to get this out before the sun goes down. Don't let the sun go down. That is poignant right now.
Let me say this clearly. It is so much worse for you to avoid the sun than it is for you to get a sunburn once or twice a year. You should never aim to get a sunburn. That is obviously bad for you, specifically if you don't want wrinkles. However, you should always make an effort to get sunlight. Melanoma is the rarest form of skin cancer, and of all deaths related to melanoma, only 9% of those are attributable to sun overexposure. What you should be worried about, the leading cause of all death in America, is high blood pressure and the correlated issues that it causes. The sun lowers your blood pressure more effectively than any drug they will give you. And if you want a crazy statistic, I'll give you two. First, the day you are most likely to die is 2 weeks after the shortest day of the year because of the impact of sunlight on all-cause mortality. My grandma always said she's not superstitious, but if she was, she would be worried about the month of January because so many people she knows have died in January. You know why? Because January is 2 weeks after the shortest day of the year. Second crazy statistic, there was a study done in Sweden with over 25,000 women for over 20 years. And they found that the women who got the least sunlight and did not smoke had the same all-cause mortality rate as women who got the most amount of sunlight and smoked. So not getting regular sun exposure is literally, statistically, as bad for you as smoking.
If the sun is causing cancer, then why is it that melanoma rates are the highest that they've ever been in human history at the same time that we are spending the most time indoors that we have ever spent as a society? I'm just asking you to think about it.
She's pointing out that melanoma rates have increased over time. Correct. She's also pointed out that we as a society are spending less time outdoors. Correct. Luckily for her, there's an entire specialty of doctors called dermatologists who have dedicated their lives to thinking about it. Now, I get the sneaking suspicion she's not actually asking a question, that she's trying to make a statement, which is dangerous because if you don't really understand cancer biology, then you've misled. I think when I saw that video, it had 400,000 views. You've misled 400,000 people into believing the wrong thing about cancer. Here's what she's missing and why you should listen to dermatologists and doctors who have training and understand this stuff, explain it to you. Let's say today I cut out a melanoma in a 70-year-old man. The sunburn that probably caused that melanoma happened in the 80s or 90s. The melanomas of today are from the sunburns and sun exposure of the 80s to 2000s. It's not an immediate mutation that then immediately develops into melanoma. It takes time to develop. So we cannot look at relationships between today's melanoma rates and today's sun exposure habits and extrapolate or make a connection that's not actually there, because she's really misunderstanding cancer biology. The critical thing is to understand it takes decades for sunburns to develop into skin cancer. This is the same for basal cell and squamous cell. Now, do you hear of cases of young women and young men in their 20s having melanoma? Yes. Those are probably very different scenarios. Maybe they have a heritable mutation that puts them at increased risk of having melanoma at baseline. We know for a fact that childhood and adolescent sunburns put us at the highest risk of all of melanoma. In fact, one sunburn in childhood doubles your lifetime risk of melanoma. That's why I'm so passionate on this app, to teach you, if you're a parent, to keep your kid from getting sunburn. And if you're a teenager hearing misinformation on here about sun and tanning beds, I'm trying to keep you from having melanoma because you can die from it. And if you're not worried about dying, you're gonna have a really big ugly scar from having it cut out. The reason childhood and adolescent sunburns are so bad is because they happen early enough that you're likely to live long enough for that sunburn to manifest as melanoma. If you're 40 years old and get a blistering sunburn, you're probably gonna die before melanoma would ever develop from that. Now, that's not always the case. I'm not telling 40-year-olds and up to go out willy-nilly and get a sunburn. I'm just trying to make a point about the timing of cancer biology and how it develops. Does it follow if you like this kind of information? Now, I'm not the type of dermatologist that's going to fearmonger you from the sun. In fact, I get in the sun myself. I live in a coastal climate. Everything we do is outdoors, but I will teach you how to be practical and protect yourself so that you don't put yourself at risk of skin cancer, but I'm not going to scare you and make you think that you cannot enjoy your life in the sun.
I think white people are disconnected from their spirits, and some men too, because of the patriarchy and racism. I have a theory. Okay, so I made a diagram. Everyone is made up of their mind, their body, and their spirit, right? You with me? Okay. So, but your spirit lives inside of here. This is your spirit. But your spirit, or your true self, your spirit is your truest sense of self. But you protect your spirit with your ego, right? With like this projection of your spirit, this version of yourself, this version of your spirit that you put out, you project out into the world so that people interact with this ego first. And so if that ego is bruised or hurt or tainted, that is, they feel like their spirit is being attacked because it's a version of their spirit, but it is not truly their spirit. But because I feel like the patriarchy and racism have inflated let's make it bigger, shall we? Has inflated the ego of white people by way of white supremacy, and men by way of the patriarchy. Their ego is gigantic in comparison to their spirit, and their spirit has been shrink to this little itty bitty little dot. So here's their spirit now, but their ego is like this. And so when they can't hear their spirit, they can't see their spirit, they don't even know what their spirit looks like. This is why everyone's like, oh, listen to black women are magic, or we're so smart. And it's like, black women, we have not had our ego inflated to the size of the planet Earth. And so we can hear our spirit, we can hear our intuition, which is really what it is. When you're listening to your spirit, you're listening to your intuition. And your intuition is your ability to navigate throughout the world, collect data based on your experiences, based on what you see, based on your five senses, what you feel, and then like how you use them, all the experiences that you have. Whenever you have those gut feelings or like that initial reaction when you meet someone or when you see someone or like that, all of that data that you collected throughout your life, it comes to you in a moment and a feeling, and that is your intuition. Your intuition is really just like a computer processor putting out information, but you can't read through all that information. Your intuition is basically the best AI in the whole wide world. You can't read through all of it as a human. Your mind can't process that much information, but your spirit can. And so whenever it tells you something, you have you feel it. You feel like this person is weird, or I'm afraid here, or but you can't put words to it. You can't explain why you don't like this person, but you just don't like them. Or you can't explain why this man feels creepy because he's smiling, he's handsome, he looks nice, but something about you creeps you out, but the man will be like, I'm not creepy, I'm a wonderful person, and everyone else is like, oh, I'm a wonderful person, he's a wonderful person. And so you ignore that intuition, that spirit, in favor of your ego because he's fine, he's a good looking man, and so you listen to the ego, and then you end up hurt in some way because you didn't listen to your spirit, your intuition. But men and white people, they have had their spirits shrunk, especially white people, because white people have this they are incentivized to not be themselves. They are incentivized to not be unique. They are incentivized to consume. Their culture is consumption, and the more you consume, the more you are feeding your ego. Consumption is feeding your ego. You can only feed your spirit by the opposite of consumption. You feed your spirit by sitting with self, by meditation, by introspection, by just thinking, just you feed your spirit by just being. You're when you are okay with just being alive, just being here, you find your inherent worth as a human being by just breathing the air that we breathe. That is how you feed your spirit. But when you are consuming, that is feeding the ego. And white people have a consumerist culture. They have this, and they've spread it to everyone. So a lot of people have this more of this consumerist mentality, but men have it a lot specifically because they are rewarded the more they consume, the more resources they consume, the more women they consume or conquer, the more children they have, which will create more consumption in the world. that feeds their ego, and the ego gets bigger and bigger. And the bigger your ego is, the tinier your spirit becomes. Like your spirit's like, hello, and it's like shouting into a dark room that's locked into a cage because you don't feed your spirit with just being. I can't explain that enough. Just I am because I am. I'm here. I'm to like being present, like not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past. Just breath work, is like being intentionally very extremely present. But yeah, so that's my running theory, that why white people are kind of awful sometimes, and they don't see racism, they don't see when they're being awful, because all that would come with being in touch with your spirit. But when your ego has been inflated, been pumped up by capitalism, been pumped up by the patriarchy, been pumped up by white supremacy, you're never going to hear this. You're never going to hear that. And you're just going to be like, oh my God, black women, they just seem so amazing. I don't understand why they're that way and I'm not this way, or black men, anyways. Yeah, so what do you think? Thanks for listening.
Thank you for watching the clips. Welcome back. There is this important point we all should note. The sun does not discriminate by race. This means that people of every skin type suffer ultraviolet damages. The only difference here is that people with a darker skin are less affected as compared to those with a very fair skin. They are more vulnerable and exposed to sunburns and also skin cancer. But it doesn't mean that people with a darker skin type don't face this difficulty. Every skin type can suffer ultraviolet damages. So when you hear people say the sun is becoming a nightmare, they are referring to ultraviolet exposure, skin pigmentation, health, and not about race itself. When we look at some videos trending online, we see some whites who have resorted to getting melanin boosters, melanin drops. According to them, they think that is going to change their complexion from being white to black. This ultraviolet rays is very, very dangerous for our skin because it can cause skin cancer. So it is very much advisable that during moments like this, we should avoid exposing our bodies under the sun, like avoid any form of exposure, especially for people with a very fair skin type, because their skin burn easily. And it is also advisable that during moments like this, when walking around, we should always seek shelter, and if not, wear protective clothes that are going to protect us from the sun rays, and also always have our sunscreen with us wherever we go to. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it interesting in one way or the other, please drop your thoughts in the comment section. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much. Thank you for the support. See you on my next video. Bye.